America has a long tradition of consumer activism. In fact, our country was founded on it. Starting with the founders' protest against taxation without representation at the Boston Tea Party, to the farm workers' grapes boycott of the 60s and 70s, to the recent backlash against the NRA after the Parkland school shootings, Americans have successfully used their power as consumers to shape their country. But now, with consumer spending accounting for 70% of the economy, consumer-driven movements have so much potential to influence the nation's politics and economy. The rise of social media, combined with socially conscious consumers, has created a new opportunity for far-reaching progressive change. We just need to organize them. In recent surveys, more than half of all Americans express a preference for brands that support well-being and sustainability, while more than 20% buy certain brands because they believe they're more socially responsible. We've seen this with the rise of the healthy food, organic, GMO, and green consumer. Recent studies have found that more than 70% of Americans buy eco-friendly products, and that more than 80% are knowledgeable about which brands have a track record of sustainability. The organic food movement driven by consumers did not happen by accident. As the healthy and environmental movements matured, they added consumer pressure to its arsenal of weapons. Now those fighting to reduce economic inequality are starting to enlist the American consumer. Leading this effort is Labor 411, which over the last decade has engaged millions of Americans on the nexus between how they spend their money and the fate of the country's middle class. Labor 411's message is clear and compelling. American consumers have the power to take on economic inequality by supporting businesses that create good jobs. It's as simple as putting their money where their values are. As consumers start to patronize businesses based on how they treat their workforce, business behavior will have to adapt, as it has in response to the sustainability green movement and the organic food movement. If just 10% of the American public began to exercise their spending power to support employers that provide decent wages, it would create tremendous economic pressure on businesses to increase wages and make a serious dent in the income gap. The Janus lawsuit and other attacks on organized labor are showing us we can't do this alone. Working families must enlist consumer and the public in our fight to create good middle-class jobs and strong local communities. That's why we're expanding Labor 411's message of harnessing consumer buying power to appeal to millennials and progressives with our Buy Blue campaign. Buying Blue supports all companies who care about their workers, but also respect the environment and honors diversity in the workplace, as well as the boardrooms. The internet and social media have provided an invaluable platform for the emergence of a permanent consumer movement for good jobs. The capacity to get information quickly to large numbers of people and mobilize them in support of a cause lends enormous potential to a consumer-driven good jobs movement. In the years ahead, Labor 411 is determined to grow this movement and harness the power of consumers to rebuild the American middle class.